Today is August 17th, 2025. I'm at the Klamath River at the Iron Gate Bridge and boat launch. Thought I'd come up today and see what everything's looking like. We got some nice rains last night. Everything is still a little damp and wet. Got some puddles still on the bridge. Might get some thunderstorms this afternoon, not sure. The weather keeps changing. This morning when I checked the gauge here, the CFS was at 933. I believe the water temp was in the high 60s. The water has actually been above 70s most of the time, with the exception, I think, of yesterday. I think it was like 68 or 69 is the highest it got. But we've had some pretty warm weather, and yesterday was a fairly cool day. Still lots of bubbles. Got some clarity normally, like I've seen on the sides. You can see though, like where there is, at least I can see it, the sediment that's still accumulated on the beaches. Water still has that brown-green tint to it. Like I said, I think that that's the new color of the Klamath River, just from all the sediment that's laying on the bottom. That's what it's looking like downstream. Pop down here. This is what it's looking like upstream. Of course, I can see this a lot better down below. You can still see that the sonar device is still there. That is what it's supposed to pick up the fish that swim back and forth. That's located below where the former Iron Gate Dam was. That's where they placed it last year when they put the sonar in. I'll pause it for a second. I don't really see any bugs flying around here either. I don't see the birds here either. Not sure where they would have gone. Not sure what time of year that they leave the area. And I'm going to walk down over there next. And just so if you guys are wondering, that access is still shut off. I do know that they were doing some sort of work on the south side of here, on the south side of Iron Gate, up that direction, but I'm not exactly sure what they were doing yet. I haven't found that out. Once I do, I'll let you know. So I just came down below the bridge. And from here you can look up and see where that sonar device is. It looks like these are starting to flower out. I'm not sure what kind of a plant that is. Sometimes, and I don't know what I'm smelling, I get this funky smell. It almost smells like rubber or tire. It kind of comes and goes, and I'm not sure where it is I'm smelling it from. We did have rains last night, like I said. This is what it's looking like up that draw. Looks like there might be something else up there. I can't tell what that is. That's right in the middle. Sorry, I hardly move and it shakes. But the dam was located up and around that corner. And the spawning tanks were up there as well. I think those are pigeons that just took off. But we don't have our sparrows here that we've had before, or swallows, sorry. Swallows, not sparrows, swallows. You look across the water here, you don't see any bugs above the water here, maybe one or two. Couple dragonflies. I can definitely smell the vegetation sometimes. It smells good. I love it after a fresh rainstorm. Kind of freshens everything up, which we've actually had quite a bit of rain this summer compared to normal. So I'm going to come on up here by the dry hydrant. So I'm coming over here by the dry hydrant. A lot of foam buildup right here. So like all this red material here that I'm seeing in the rocks, this is what was left behind. And that's pretty red. I think that this is what gives the Klamath River its kind of new color, that brown color with a tint of green. It's kind of like a rusty red color. You kind of see it deposited everywhere. So the clarity is definitely pretty decent. I can see out there, I don't know, maybe 8 feet. I'm not sure how deep it is down out there on the grates. You can kind of see the pipe for the dry hydrant. The bubbles are actually right up against it, and you can kind of see it right there as it's submerged underwater. So I'm going to walk out here. I'm only going to go so far until it goes up above my boots. That's what it's looking like upstream. So I'm going to pause it. So I walked out of the water and I come around here to the corner. And I can see a few small fish in here and some water skippers. They're small on top of the water. I don't know if you can see them. But there's a few water skippers and there are a few small fish here. They're very, very little. Water skipper right there. The water just smells like water, like a normal river water. I don't, except for that occasional burning, I don't know, that rubber smell that comes and goes. It smells normal. But this is kind of like the sediment color that we're seeing that's kind of here in the rock. I think is why the Klamath has the color that it does. You can see a dragonfly. Looks like there's a little bit of a washout here, so I'm not sure how much this rain this area got. A few bees here on the side. See if I see any other fish in this area, but you can definitely see the sand that's here. Let's walk along and I'll see if I can see any other fish in this area. I'm not seeing any so far. Water clarity is actually pretty good. I can see down and into the rocks here. That's what it's looking like downstream. I can't tell, that might be white foam up there. I'm gonna come back down here and we'll see if we can see any other small fish. I don't think that they would be in this faster moving current. I can see a couple snails. Can see where that one has traveled. I can see another one there. So it looks like there's a couple snails in this area. I think that there's a couple. I know I can see the water skippers. There might be a couple fish right there, little babies, fry. I don't know if you can see them. But there's a couple in that area. Looks like there might be a couple in this area within that grass weed that you see. Come over here to the end. There is some moss forming. You can see it in this cove. So if there is fish right here, you really can't see them. You can definitely see some of the sediment that's been left behind that's still here. I think that'll be here for a while. Few bees, dragonflies. But as you look across the water here, you really don't see any bug activity above the water, just a few dragonflies here and there. But I don't really see much here.